Sex, drugs, and rock and roll aren't something you'd associate with a humanitarian aid concert. Wrongly, it seems. Colombian authorities themselves are shocked, embarrassed at what they've uncovered. And to think, it all began so innocently.
We need to try to help those who are not getting medical help those who are hungry. And today, hopefully, on the back of this concert, we can start maybe getting supplies into Venezuela so that people are not suffering so much.
Back then, the freshly self-proclaimed president of Venezuela called on the military to defect, join him, and topple the corrupt regime.
To the armed forces, welcome to the right side of history. Welcome to these soldiers who are today following the Constitution. Welcome.
Hundreds of soldiers did defect, some with families, some with small children. They escaped to Colombia, they were put in hotels, and by mid-March, they were living in the streets.
We are desperate. We do not want to stay in Colombia. We want to return to Venezuela, but not in the current living conditions. We do not know.
How could this happen? Out of the 7 hotels that the soldiers were staying in, all but 2 were being paid for by the UN and the Colombian government. 2 hotels is all Juan Guaido's representatives had to pay for, except they didn't. According to the journalists who broke this story, Juan Guaido knew all of this a month ago.
We couldn't allow for any bad managing of money to overshadow what has been a big effort on the part of all Venezuelans. That's why as soon as we had the information about the ongoing investigation, we decided to send it straight to every impartial authority.
The people who did this, bear in mind, were appointed by Guaido personally. And he only chose to speak with the story already public knowledge, saying a transparent investigation is needed. Also, amazingly, managing to somehow imply that the Venezuelan government is involved, culpable, complicit, and that Guaido doesn't cover up corruption, which he kept covered up for at least a month. Obviously, the actual Venezuelan government has questions.
It's a huge, rotten corruption plot to divert money that we could use for our sick children. Instead of being spent on food and medicine, it's being used to pay for alcohol, prostitutes, expensive shopping trips and luxury hotels.
As do Juan Guaido's allies. Why is his party, which promises to cleanse Venezuela of corruption and exorcise the demons of the old regime, why these people are blowing tens of thousands of dollars in aid money on prostitutes, drugs, and booze?
The Live Aid concert that Richard Branson led, along with others in the U.S. pro-coup attempt of February 22nd and 23rd, was a complete failure. For Juan Guaido's forces inside of Venezuela and in Colombia have been using the money to enrich themselves for luxury stays in 5-star hotels. And therefore, they're really showing what they're about. It's about wanting to take power for personal enrichment. The corruption scandal is just one small part of what the U.S. is engaging in this enormous assault, a genocidal assault against the people of Venezuela. It's hundreds of millions, it's tens of billions of dollars that the U.S. is stealing in the name of Juan Guaido, stealing money from the Venezuelan people.